the profit payment. So it's like fixed income otherwise. So coming back to the story, in 2005, when we were structuring it in March 2005, being the first one, we want to make it workable because there's no one outside doing it. So we have to start from scratch. We hired a legal counsel, both local and external. At that time was Linklaters as our legal counsel, and we worked with the bankers. So it took us about 12 months or so to structure it. However, after we finished structuring, the market wasn't conducive. We felt that telecom needs to do better. So we waited for the market to be more conducive for us to issue. But we were worried. We were worried that our structure may be copied by others. You know, out there, bankers may talk to each other and then, it might leak. But Alhamdulillah, we managed to really keep the structure very tightly to ourselves. 18 months later, in October 2006, we managed to launch it. Another interesting thing about this is that in 2006 era, those years, if you remember, that's where the petrodollars start coming out. You know, people in the Middle East really have, excess money, so-called. Oil price was high. So we felt that we need to capture this oil money somehow or another. We need to bring this money to Malaysia. So we have a targeted plan to make sure that we allocate 30% of the Sukuk that we plan to issue to the Middle Eastern investors. So we had a roadshow. It was a long roadshow. It's about 2 weeks roadshow because a few reasons. Middle East investors, they are not familiar at all with Sukuk. As I said, even the rest of the world is first time we're doing Sukuk exchangeable. So we went there 1 week plus, almost 2 weeks, having one-to-one meetings with them to explain the structure, why we are doing, the first time we're doing. It wasn't easy because, as you know, human beings, how much money you have also, when it comes to the time to give to someone else, it's not easy. You know, some people say the richer you are, the harder for you to get money from them. It wasn't easy. And then another reason that in the Middle East, they are used to having conventional products, and then the yield is high. So we are not offering that. To us, we are offering a unique product. If the stock doing well, you can get hold of the shares. That's one reason. Another reason for us, for going to Middle East, is that to create pathways for Malaysian companies to go to Middle East. So that when we have created the pathways, any other company who wants to sell the products to Middle East, is there already. So in our session, we introduce Malaysia, companies that we have. They may hear about it, even though first time, but at least they hear from us. So to us, that was useful. Then, as I said, after 2 weeks of roadshow, we came back. We said, okay, I think market is conducive. That's when we launch. Another unique thing about Middle East is that they tend to take time to make decisions. I think, unlike here, time is of essence. I mean, we work late here, right? I mean, bankers here, for those bankers, you work late here. Over there, no. I mean, time office closed, that's it. So different kind of ways of working, I would say. So they take time in terms of decisions. So because we want them so much, so we are willing to wait for them. So unlike the usual way of book opening when you do deals, for the first time we had to open books for 3 days. Normally in normal deals here, you open book 5 after market close, you close by 8 or 9 the same day closing. We opened the book for 3 days just to cater for this order book to come. We were willing to do so because in the name of educating and promoting Islamic finance. So we did that. Alhamdulillah, the order came through eventually, more than 30%, I must say. But we have to be fair to other investors as well. Investors out of Hong Kong, out of London, out of Singapore, they came with the order much earlier and much bigger. So we have to be fair to them as well. So we did allocation, we tried to be fair, i.e. distribute to the rest as well. The details are in the brochure. So we did that and we closed the book, alhamdulillah, you know, the kind of multiples that we receive, the book cover that we receive is about 6 times 750 million, so you know, a few billion there. So, alhamdulillah, we came back, we closed the book, you know, nice story to tell. I must say one good thing that we did is that we know when it comes to investing, once the certain Sharia scholars pronounce the structure, then some investors will only be comfortable about it. So what good thing that we did in our structure, in our Sukuk, is that we form a Sharia committee. Prof. Engku is familiar with that. In fact, in one of the Sukuk, Prof. Engku sits one of the Sharia committee. We said we need to bring Sharia scholars together to agree on a common structure so that Middle East investors cannot say this is endorsed by Malaysian scholars only. So what we did, we get one scholar from Malaysia, one scholar, Prof is from Malaysia, one scholar from Middle East, one scholar from international. 3 scholars to sit. So with that pronouncement, then we know that people should be comfortable about the structure. Alhamdulillah, it worked well. We have no further questions from investors. That's why we got good demand. I think that would help a lot in terms of bridging understanding between, you know, Malaysian scholars and Middle Eastern scholars as well. Time passed. We know that the demand for Sukuk is still there. Then as soon as we finished, the new year 2007 came, we thought that we need to do something in the 2007 as well. So we were scanning our companies, our portfolio, and then we thought that maybe Plus or Tenaga can be candidates for next Sukuk story. So if you notice in the brochure, we call the project, the name on top is the project name, the Duo I. Duo I quite simply because we have 2 stocks to choose. We have Tenaga or Plus to choose. We were working in the office. As you know, not all stocks are Sharia compliant. You know, there are 2 types of screening. There 2 levels screening. For Malaysian SC, only goes by the activity. As long as activity is Sharia compliant and your stock is Sharia compliant. So in terms of Bursa or SC, both Tenaga and Plus are Sharia compliant. However, if you want to market the Sukuk internationally, you have to go through another screening layer. So according to Dow Jones Islamic Index or FTSE Index, you have to look into the ratios of the company. So, for those academicians, students, you would know those are the ratios. One ratio that's haunting us is the debt ratio. Tenaga and Plus, they were highly indebted with conventional debt. So, okay, let's look at Tenaga. Tenaga debt, they have yen debt, they have US dollar debt, which is difficult to refinance. Whereas Plus is all ringgit. So one day, myself and one colleague of mine went to Plus. We went to Plus to talk to the CFO. We told them, you need to refinance your debt. You need to do Sharia compliant debt. The CFO said, typical Malaysian, everything is difficult. Oh, susah lah nak buat ni. Banyak kerja. So, of course, we're not happy with that kind of answer. I mean, to do good things, of course, a lot of challenges. So, we went back. We're not happy with the management. We changed the CFO. So, we brought in new CFO. We said, okay, you have to do this, because otherwise, we cannot do, this project. So, we managed to convince the new CFO, and then he quickly did refinancing within the year, and then the debt level just below 33% within the threshold. So we managed to launch in 2007. This time around it's 850 million, bigger size, bigger demand. To share some story, some anecdote on Plus, again we went to Middle East. Because we felt that we need to give further education. This time around we spent only 3 days, because we know, we have gone one round already. I mean, so we shortened our trip. And one interesting thing that happened in the same weekend, if you're familiar with Dubai, during the same year, that's the first time they introduced toll road at Sheikh Zayed Road. So we thought that it's difficult to sell the story to them, because highway with toll, people may not be familiar, because Middle East, all free. So lucky that somehow for that road was they introduced toll for the first time. So we told that, it's like the toll that you may have, our toll. I mean, of course in Malaysia we told them a lot of tolls. So the company that we have here, Plus, runs the toll right from the north to the south, about 800 kilometers. So we sell the stories, and because they have seen the structure before, we didn't change the structure at all, because if you change, then you have to educate further. So we keep the structure the same. The underlying is different. Alhamdulillah, we launched. We came back, we launched. This time around, we only opened the books for 2 days only, and huge demand from both conventional and Islamic investors. But again, we allocated 30% of our Sukuk to them. Nice ending, Alhamdulillah, then we finish. Then come to 8, we felt that it's good to keep the momentum going. So we felt internally, let's do this and continue on annual basis. We have one stock called Pakistan. Okay, Pakistan is our investment that we had. It's a company listed in Hong Kong, but have operations in China. Those of you